Bilbo was going to be 71, a rather curious number, and a very respectable age for a hobbit. The old Took himself had only reached 130. Today, we narrate the life and story of Gerontius the Old Took, the grandfather of Bilbo Baggins. Gerontius is born in 1190 of the Shire Reckoning, or 2790 of the Third Age. He is a son of Fortinbras Took I, the 25th Thane of the Shire. The Thane is an office of great respect in the Shire, and its holder is the Master of the Shiremoot, a gathering of hobbits in times of emergency, and Captain of the Shire Master and Hobbitry in Arms, the Melissa of the region. Gerontius descends from the Took family, which is the preeminent clan of hobbits in the Shire, as they are wealthy and have been holding the office of Thane for centuries. The Tooks are mainly of the Fallowhide hobbit kind, the least numerous of the three hobbit branches, but the tallest and slimmest of them. The Tooks develop some distinctive characteristics among the hobbits, such as adventurous temperament, which will pass on to many of the old Tooks' descendants. Gerontius' name contains the element Geron, which is Greek for old, and it is one of the very few Greco-Latin names that appear in Hobbit lore. It is worth noting that the Professor Tolkien took inspiration from his own grandparents for the conception of the Old Took. The Old Took has part of his origin in the fact that both my grandfathers were Longeval. My father's father was in his 11th year when Waterloo was fought. My mother's father, a much younger man, was born before Queen Victoria came to the throne and survived till his 99th year, missing his 100, with which he was as much concerned as Bilbo was to surpass the Old Took, only because he mowed a large lawn that spring and then sat in the wind without a jacket. Upon Gerontius' father's death in 1248 of the Shire Reckoning, or 2848 of the Third Age, he inherits the office, becoming the 26th Thane of the Shire. He marries Adamanta Chab, and with her he begets 12 children, 9 sons and 3 remarkable daughters: Isengrim, Hildegard, Isumbras, Hildegrim, Isembold, Hildifons, Isembard, Hildebrand, Belladonna, Donamira, Mirabella, and Isengar. It is said that Gerontius resides in the Great Smiles, the ancestral home and many-tunneled mansion of the Took family, located in the town of Tagboru, in the West Farthing of the Shire. It reminds me somehow of the old room in the great place of the Tooks, away back in the Smiles at Tagboru, a huge place where the furniture has never been moved or changed for generations. They say the old Took lived in it year after year, while he and the room got older and shabbier together, and it has never changed since he died a century ago. During his life, Gerontius becomes a friend of Gandalf the Wizard, who gifts him with a pair of magic diamond studs which could fasten themselves and never come undone, not until ordered. Gerontius often throws parties in the Shire on Midsummer's Eve, the first day of the life, the first of the 3 or 4 feast days between the months of Forlyth and Afterlyth of the Shire calendar, which correspond to the months of June and July. Gandalf often visits Gerontius' parties and makes particularly excellent fireworks there. But of course, Gandalf had made a special study of bewitchments with fire and lights. Even the Hobbit had never forgotten the magic fireworks at Old Took's Midsummer Eve parties. Gerontius Took eventually passes away in 3020 of the Shire Reckoning or 2920 of the Third Age at the impressive age of 130 years old. He receives the nickname the Old Took either due to his numerous younger relatives or due to his great age. Upon his death, and after holding the office of Thane for 72 years, it passes on to his son, Isengrim Took III, who becomes the 27th Thane of the Shire. The Old Took would hold the records of both the oldest hobbit and of most offspring for many years. These records will be bested after the War of the Ring. Bilbo on the one hand will best the first one when he celebrates his 131 years of age on the 22nd of September 3021 of the Third Age. Hello Frodo. Well, I have passed the Old Took today, so that's settled, and now I think I'm quite ready to go on another journey. And Sam, on the other hand, will best the second of the Old Took's records, with Tolman, his last child's birth, in 1442 of the Shire Reckoning, or 21 of the Fourth Age. Through his 12 children, the Old Took gives rise to many branches of the Took family, becoming the forefather of many well-known characters of the Legendarium. Through his eldest daughter, Belladonna, he becomes the grandfather of Bilbo. The mother of this hobbit, of Bilbo Baggins that is, was the famous Belladonna Took, one of the three remarkable daughters of the Old Took, head of the hobbits who lived across the water, the small river that ran at the foot of the hill. Frodo, Merry and Pippin all trace their ancestry back to the Old Took through different lines. For these reasons, Gerontius Took becomes a famed hobbit who would be remembered in the Shire for many years to come. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one on Mae Govanen. Namarie.